blockchain sectors in the global market is very big, but in Chennai it's like baby.
And how was your journey in the crypto market 2022 till now?
You survive, you innovate so that you can make all your money in the next phase, right? If you guys have noticed, whenever there has been a discussion from the regulatory or from the government, they would have been like, blockchain is okay, crypto is not okay.
So these initiatives trigger positive signals, but in the upcoming years, what is your prediction about India's stand in adoption of cryptos, NFT and metaverse?
We launched Amitabh Bachchan NFT, which is the biggest NFT ever in India. Stanley's NFT. So Stanley is one of the creator of Marvel characters such as Iron Man, Spider-Man.
Behindwoods நேயர்கள் எல்லோருக்கும் வணக்கம். நான் உங்கள் நவநீத். இதங்களோட எதிர்நீச்சல் அண்ட் இன்றைக்கி நம்மளோட எதிர்நீச்சல் நம்ம எங்கே வந்திருக்கோம் அப்படின்னு பார்த்தீங்கன்னா சென்னையில் இருக்கக்கூடிய ஒரு ஸ்டார் ஹோட்டலுக்கு தான் வந்திருக்கோம். அண்ட் என்சி குளோபல் மீடியா இவங்க ஹோஸ்ட் பண்ணக்கூடிய பிளாக் செயின் சம்மந்தப்பட்ட ஒரு ஈவெண்ட்காக தான் வந்திருக்கோம். அண்ட் ஒரு பேனல் டிஸ்கஷன் இன்றைக்கி இருக்கக்கூடிய காலகட்டத்தில் பிளாக் செயின் டெக்னாலஜி மற்றும் இந்த என்எஃப்டிஸ்ன்னு சொல்லக்கூடிய அதிநவீன டெக்னாலஜியை வந்து சமூகத்தில் எப்படி பயன்படுத்துகிறாங்க, இது வந்து சமூகத்துக்கு ஒரு பாதகமாக இல்லை சாதகமாக அப்படின்ற தலைப்பில் வந்து நிறைய பேனலிஸ்ட் வந்திருக்காங்க. நிறைய பேர் பிளாக் செயின் சம்மந்தப்பட்ட டெக்னாலஜிலேருந்து நிறைய கம்பெனிஸோட ஃபவுண்டர்ஸ் அண்ட் சிஇஓஸ் வந்திருக்காங்க. ஸோ அவங்களோட தான் நம்மளோட உரையாடல் இருக்க போது வாங்க போகலாம். வணக்கம் சார்.
வணக்கம்.
ஸோ இன்றைக்கி வந்து இந்த பிளாக் செயின் டெக்னாலஜின்றது ரொம்ப ஒரு அட்வான்ஸான ஒரு டெக்னாலஜியாக பார்க்கப்படுது. மக்கள் மத்தியில் வந்து இன்னும் இதோட அவேர்னஸ்ன்றது எந்த அளவுக்கு இருக்குன்னு நினைக்கிறீங்க?
சென்னை பொறுத்தவரை there is good adoption இல்லைன்றதை சொல்ல முடியாது. Of course there is a huge amount of space. There are lots of young entrepreneurs and founders who are getting into the space. But honestly சொல்லணும்னா it's not been notable outside apart from Tamil Nadu or Chennai. So if you take Bangalore as an example, it's like setting up a trademark for the entire country. It's a pride, of course, but Chennai is also a place where there are like lots of people who are getting into this. This needs to be like taken into the global market. These ideas are really good to be in terms of DeFi, and later now it's NFTs and metaverse. It's like growing each and every day. There are like lots of techs being coming up with, and as you can see, there is huge support from Elon Musk. So it's not that blockchain cryptocurrency is like we can avoid it. In future we can't avoid cryptocurrencies or blockchain technology. And even with Tamil Nadu government is coming up with lots of initiatives for our young entrepreneurs in the Web3 space to come up with lots of their ideas into a potential product. I guess blockchain sectors in the global market is very big, but in Chennai it's like baby. Maybe slowly it will grow.
இனிஷியேட்டிவ்ஸ் வந்து இப்போ நிறைய பேர் நிறைய விஷயங்கள் இல்லை இனிஷியேட்டிவ் எடுத்துகிட்டு இருக்காங்க. அதில் ரொம்ப முக்கியமான விஷயம் என்னென்னு பார்த்தீங்கன்னா வெப் 2லேருந்து வெப் 3க்கு போகக்கூடிய இனிஷியேட்டிவ். இந்த வெப் 2 வெப் 3 அப்படின்றத நம்ம பார்க்கும்போது ரொம்ப அட்வான்ஸாக போயிட்டோமோ அப்படின்ற ஒரு பார்வை வைக்கப்படுது. இன்னும் பிளாக் செயின் என்எஃப்டிஸ் பார்த்தீங்கன்னா ஒரு ப்ராப்பரான புரிதலே இல்லாமல் நம்ம வெப் 3 அந்த லெவலில் யோசிச்சுட்டு இருக்கோமோ அப்படின்ற ஒரு பார்வை வைக்கப்படுது. How do you see the change from Web 2, people adopting from Web 2 and Web 3, and where people have lesser number of ideological thoughts on NFTs and blockchain technology?
Yes, honestly, நீங்கள் சொல்கிறது கரெக்டாக. Web 2 is okay, Web 3 is the new tech which is going to be adopted in future. But right now நம்ம முன்னாடி சொன்ன மாதிரி தான், லைக் ரொம்ப early stage தான் இப்போ. It's not like we are very far away, but maybe in 1 or 2 years, if with the government support, I think it's more easier for the Indian community of the blockchain and cryptocurrency to get more into it. So இப்போதைக்கு பார்த்தீங்கன்னா Web3 ஸ்பேஸ்க்கு there are lots of opportunities. Young people who are graduating, if they have knowledge in the very strong in development, people are here and there looking for good developers. Top brands are looking after India to hire people. So these are like golden opportunity for the entire country. Maybe the education system itself can bring in the Web3. That would be much more in a good way. It will be good for the driving the digital economy of India.
So ideologically what we hear today is everywhere NFTs, everywhere blockchains. இப்போ நம்ம சமீபத்தில் கூட பார்த்தோம், விக்ரம் திரைப்படத்தோட ஒரு NFT வந்து விட்டுருந்தாங்க. ஸோ அந்த அளவுக்கு வந்து இப்போது சினிமா வரைக்கும் நம்ம NFTயை வந்து அடாப்ட் பண்ணிக்கிறதுக்கு ரெடியாக இருக்கும். ஸோ இன்றைக்கி நம்ம பேசக்கூடிய என்சி குளோபல் மீடியா ஹோஸ்ட் பண்ணக்கூடிய இந்த பிளாக் ஃபியஸ்டா இந்த ஈவெண்ட்டில் பேசக்கூடிய டாபிக் வந்து NFT இஸ் அ பூன் ஆர் பென். இது சாதகமாக பாதகமாக அப்படின்றது தான் பேச போகிறோம். ஸோ உங்களோட பார்வையில்
Definitely, I would say in a crypto term it's bullish. Maybe Not so early, because right now if you see it's a global market, the Bitcoin has been crashed more than 60-70% from its all time high. ஸோ அப்படி நீங்கள் ஒரு குளோபல் பெர்ஸ்பெக்டிவ்ல பார்த்தீங்கன்னா இட்ஸ் நாட் அ வெரி குட் டைம் டு கெட் இன் டு அ நியூ ப்ராஜெக்ட், NFTs, இன்வெஸ்ட்மெண்ட்ஸ். பட் அஃப்கோர்ஸ் வென் யூ லுக் ஆஃப்டர் அ லாங்கர் ரன், மெட்டாவர்ஸ், NFTs இஸ் கோயிங் டு பி வித் ஆல் ரியல் லைஃப் பீப்புள். லைக் ஆண்ட்ராய்ட் மொபைல்ஸ் நம்ம இப்போ எப்படி யூஸ் பண்ணுறோம், ஸோ அந்த மாதிரி வந்து மெட்டாவர்ஸ் நம்ம ரியல் லைஃப்பில் we will start experiencing. I think maybe it will take 2 to 3 years for common people to have some 50 to 60% knowledge in NFTs and metaverse. Right now, honestly, it's like very low.
கரெக்டாக இப்போ நம்ம 22ல் இருக்கோம், 23 ஆரம்பிக்க போகுது. ஸோ இப்போலேருந்து 2 இயர்ஸில் இந்த NFTs அண்ட் பிளாக் செயினோட க்ரோத்துன்றது எந்த அளவுக்கு இருக்கும், அண்ட் வேர் டு யூ சி இன் குளோபல் ஸ்டாண்டர்ட்ஸ், வேர் டு யூ சி த பொசிஷன் ஆஃப் இந்தியா வித் ரிகார்ட்ஸ் டு பிளாக் செயின் அண்ட் NFTs?
So 2025, I feel like definitely there will be a huge amount of adoption, and there are like lots of small startups. Even startups are taking this initiative for adoption. ஸோ சின்ன கம்பெனி பெரிய கம்பெனின்னு ஒரு பாரபட்சமே இல்லாமல் எல்லாருமே வந்து இந்த அடாப்ஷனுக்காக they are fighting. And even governments are trying to regulate this. I won't say they are trying to regulate, but they are trying to make good for the people. Because if they are just going and investing on some project, or it can be an NFT, and if they are losing money, it again they will simply tag it as scam, which is of no use. And I think the government is taking a right step towards the blockchain, and they are taking that enough time. Maybe they may think it even, they can take it even until 2030 and drag maybe the next 2 elections. They can wait, and they can bring in cryptocurrencies and blockchain, because right now we can't say this is the right time to adopt and regulate like other countries which they are doing. In Dubai, it's like it's okay, you can use cryptocurrencies, you can do, there is no taxations and stuff. But here they are trying to control, because our population is really huge, and it's good from the government stand, from a government perspective. The adoption, they are trying to pull it very hard, but I think we need some more time. Maybe 2025 will not be enough. That's what I can answer.
ரொம்ப நன்றி என்னோட கேள்விகள் எல்லாத்தையும் பதில் சொன்னதுக்கு, உங்களோட நேரத்தை எங்களோட பகிர்ந்ததுக்கு, அண்ட் இந்த ஈவெண்ட் வந்து பெரிய சக்ஸஸாக இருக்கணும் அப்படின்றதுக்கு ஒரு டீம் Behindwoods சார்பாக வாழ்த்துக்கள், அண்ட் we will catch you at the event. Thank you so much.
Sure. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
NC Block Fiesta, a new blockchain meetup presented by the NC Global Media. My name is Yogesh Pandit. I work as a blockchain trainer and a legal advisor with the NC Global. For past 11 years, I've been working in the domain of training and development. With my first question to the dynamic panel here, like before we go more deeper into the core topic and more deeper interaction on our topic, I would like to know something crucial from the panelists, that how was your journey in the crypto domain, and how was your journey in the crypto market 2022 till now? Starting from Ashok will be.
Welcome everyone, and I would like to thank NC Global Media for this wonderful opportunity. So I'm the CTO of BitsCrunch, so I would like to tell few words what BitsCrunch is doing. So we are indexing NFTs, all the NFTs in the blockchain, and we do some forensic stuff and analytics on top of it. And to answer your question, in the year 2022, even though we are facing the bear market and stuff, for BitsCrunch, we had a really great year in terms of development. We have released our beta stage of product called Unleash NFTs, and in terms of investment, we have raised 4 million already, and the second Series A fund, it's still ongoing. Regarding the marketing and stuff, so we have gained significant popularity. We have a strategic relationship with some of the big players in the crypto space, like CoinMarketCap, Mastercard, and other stuff. So in summary, so we had really good year, and this was possible entirely because we had a very great, highly motivating team, and thanks to the entire team behind BitsCrunch.
GeoTest, which is the exchange I'm part of. So how I would define our journey is, the journey has been similar to how Bitcoin's journey has been, right? Cyclical. Now, being in this industry, which is a growing industry, which is not a bleeding edge per se, we have crossed the bleeding edge stage, but a growing technology, you would not have a phase where there is a smooth growth like this. It's cyclical. There is going to be a really good time, and there's going to be a really, really bad time. Being in the industry, what we understood, right? We completed our 5th year last month. It's more about if you're able to build yourself better when there is a phase which is bad, then you get to enjoy when there is a good phase. So that's very, very critical. Now this is one such phase, right, which is a bad market. Now it is so important to innovate and build products in this phase. You survive, you innovate so that you can make all your money in the next phase, right? So this phase is not about that. This phase is not about earning. This phase is about building. This phase is about understanding your customers so that when there is a bull market or when the scenarios are looking great from all perspectives, market, regulatory and all perspectives, that's when you go out to start fishing. I'll just quote one incident, and then I'll pass it on to the other panelists. So when we were launching, so we started building our product in 2017, and just a week before the launch, we had our products ready and everything. We opened up for registrations, so we were all pumped up. Just a week before the launch, the RBI came out with the restriction saying that the banks cannot support crypto entities. So whatever we built for 6 months, we just had to keep it aside and build a P2P exchange in the next 1 week and go live, right? Ideally, that's been our starting story, right? In a way, at hindsight, I feel that what happened was good because we started at the bad phase. So anything that happens after that, we are feeling so good about it. So this phase is more about building products, innovating so that you can reap benefits in the next cycle.
We are pushed to go beyond our limits and just working hard, what the users really need, and this gives us a lot of time to then, in terms of the VCs, they are doing more due diligence, which means that the entire crypto market is, evolving good, and, good projects come into the market. And when you see good projects, more good projects into the market, that the industry evolves. And I'm seeing this is a very good way to progress. We are heading in the right direction. And we at Turner Bots, and we started back in November 21, and we are doing good in terms of what the customer really wants. And from the ideation, we move to development. That's what we are targeting about.
Yeah. So I echo the thoughts. Congratulations on the $4 million. But essentially, a brief introduction to Bow Talkies. We started building on Web 2. So we are 2 years old. We built 1.5 years on Web 2. We moved to Web 3. I'll not get into why we moved to Web 3 here. You can ask me off the stage. But irrespective of crypto or no crypto, I don't think any one of us is immune from the so-called bear market. Look at the Dunzos, Zomatos, everybody's of the world. The funding tap has dried. The scrutiny is more. There was this big craze around EdTech in 2020, 2021, and then now everybody is laying off. Yeah, so people have realized that, well, there is a value problem. So earlier there was this thing around talking about a value proposition, and now the thing is around proving a value proposition. So I don't think we in the Web3 space, crypto space are immune to that. So yeah, there is more scrutiny. There is a greater wherewithal to build at the same time. The great enthusiasm that I've seen on people who want to embrace, understand, know about what the possibilities of crypto and Web3 are, irrespective of the cryptocurrencies going down, is fabulous. I mean, look at the audience. Yeah. So how much is Bitcoin down from its peak to 80%? Some stuff like that, right? Yeah. Yeah. So but still, the sheer enthusiasm of people to figure out as to how they can use the fundamentals of Web3 and crypto in doing internet models that are different is there to see.
Next, I would like to discuss that there has been a speculation that NFT concept is a popular bandwagon that is led by craze and not a long-term utility. So we would like to have your opinion as a reality check to this misconception. How would you defend the fact that there is something more beyond the hype? I would like to know this from Ashok.
Yeah, definitely. In year 2022, I would say it's a year for NFTs. And since we are looking at all the NFTs in the multiple blockchains like Ethereum, Polygon and Avalanche, what we have seen is like the utility of the NFTs in different space have been increased. And so we have seen like in gaming industry, in supply chain or in in real estate and the places where where they are using the NFTs. It's going beyond the limit. That's what I can see. And to throw out some numbers from our analytics, in the last quarter, we are calling bear market, right? So in the last quarter of 2022, the market volume, what our system says, is 30 billion.
And I didn't want to interrupt you, but do you feel that it is a long-term utility?
Yes, definitely. The projects which have been started, or we are tracking out a lot of projects here, and we could see that they have a really good, very potential, and the technology, the NFT technology itself is really, really good, and and it has a great potential that can be adapted to any use case in the real world.
How can you explain NFT, or what is the best use case which you would suggest for NFTs?
Initially, I'll also bring in the perspective of not just us, the regulatory perspective that is going around, and what about brands, right? Be it in the Web2 ecosystems or general brands like FMCG brands and all other brands which are there. How do they view this ecosystem? If you guys have noticed, whenever there has been a discussion from the regulatory or from the government, they would have been like, blockchain is okay, crypto is not okay. Obviously, I think a lot of people here are in this domain, you'd find it confusing what they mean, right? I echo your thoughts. Now, interestingly, NFT has been something where the regulators are seeming to be open. Baffles me even why, right? But I'm happy that it is so. They definitely want to innovate or do something with NFT, be it the state governments or be it your central governments. They want to try this out. It's just now about how do creators, innovators here are packaging it so that these entities can use it. Now, from the perspective of, is it a fad or is it having use case? Now let's see, the last year has been more of, there is this technology, and this technology was given to people to play around with. So a lot of products came in, different types of products came in, right? Right from gambling to even having soulbound tokens, right? Every set of innovations come in. That is how a technology should be used, right? You take the toy, play as much as you can. That is the face, right?
So numerous metaverse projects of diverse themes are flooding on the chain space, especially play to earn, P2Es based projects which have succeeded in onboarding a huge user base. There's one challenging missing that metaverse projects face, and that is their sustenance in the market. What do you recommend on that, Andrew?
The metaverses in the high level, they are not evolved. So we are in a very early stage of metaverses, and to be honest, still the metaverses that are live now are experiments to onboard users. But then when the real use cases, real adoption comes, you don't talk about the metaverse, but then start using that. Involuntary usage of the metaverse will have that. When that comes in, no one talks about these things.
What would you think that metaverse project should essentially do to sustain itself for a longer term, and how would you, would like to comment on that, coming from your domain of entertainment?
So as Andrew said, I think metaverse is incipient. I think it's somewhere between the Venn diagram of augmented reality, virtual reality, immersive experiences. I like to classify metaverse as something that is more on the immersive experiences side, and virtual reality, augmented reality and stuff like that will just be aids to have experiences that are more immersive. Case in point, for example, none of us were used to doing these Zoom calls, correct? Before COVID hit us. And now, for example, if I would take your example, how many Zoom calls do you do in a day? I do somewhere around 9 to 10.
I don't know, 3 or 4.
So it is of great help, right? So now there is a lot more that can be accomplished per day in a more efficient manner. It is very difficult to do 9 to 10 meetings a day. In a city like Gurgaon, Mumbai, how many meetings can you do? NCR, Mumbai, 2. Bangalore, 1.
You're talking about Bangalore? I think 2.
Yeah.
Okay. So.
Bangalore, you'll be lucky if you do 1. So I think it will evolve. I think it will evolve in the enterprise cases first, and then it will evolve in the consumer spaces. So we will still be loath to have our virtual avatars, for instance, interact with each other in such a scenario. But will still be okay to have our virtual avatars interact in a more of an enterprise scenario, in a conversational setting, where the goals are, where it is very, very goal oriented, which is where I think the metaverses will immediately move towards. And again, metaverse is a norma. I would still call it immersive experiences.
So these initiatives trigger positive signals, but in the upcoming years, what is your prediction about India's stand in adoption of cryptos, NFT and metaverse?
See, regulatory perspective, there's a lot of mixed feelings out there, right? There is RBI. Obviously, let us not sweeten everything when we talk. They don't like us. It's as simple as that. So there's definitely has to be a lot of efforts that have to be put in place to have dialogues and discussions with them to understand this ecosystem, how we can help the nation to grow with this product. From the government's perspective, they're still open to ideas, right? They're still viewing ideas. They're still trying to see how to regulate this, right? Not outright ban it. If I take out today's comment that has come out from Finance Minister, but that has been the general outlook of how the government is. Now, having said that, there are different states, different departments within the government who have different viewpoints, right? Let's take Telangana government, for example, right? They've now had multiple levels of events that they've had to promote Web3, right? They also have a startup hub there where there are Web3 companies who are being incubated there now. Tamil Nadu government is also going in this direction. If you notice, our CM had spoken about Web3 just 4 days back, right? The government should invest in Web3 as being its communication. Now, people have different viewpoints on what is Web3 now. So that viewpoint is something tough, right? It's the same viewpoint of blockchain and crypto, right? We don't know where the line has been drawn. That is where you see certain departments are adopting, building something in blockchain. We're not sure over the period of years, are they using it, are they adopting it? If they're using it, we are really happy. Now, from the long-term perspective of how the regulation is going to be, there needs to be a lot of dialogues that the industry players should do, right? We feel that there is a gap. Maybe we are not talking much to departments. We are just having knee-jerk reactions as of now. That ideally should not happen, right? Like how it happens in other countries. There used to be a IAMAI's body which was there earlier, BACC, which we were also a member of, which is not there anymore. There's another body which is being built, but a lot of action is yet to take place there. It is a long term. Again, I don't want to just give very high hope saying that, hey, in next 6 months, everything is going to be rosy. It's not going to be. It's going to take a year or so for things to build up positively from the government's perspective. So hold on to your seatbelts. It is not just the market that you're struggling with. You also have to keep interacting with the regulators here to keep surviving in this scenario.
We are pleased to introduce Mr. Mahendram Sundaran, the business head of Guardian Link. He's one of the pioneers in leveraging blockchain and NFT R&D ecosystem.
So we all know the blockchain technology has a couple of biggest evolution. One is the cryptocurrency. After we came to know about the Bitcoin, Ethereum, USDT, we know about the blockchain technology. The next biggest evolution is the NFT, which is non-fungible token. As Guardian Link plays a huge role in taking NFT as a mainstream business, we have our own NFT marketplace, which is called Jump.Trade, which is Asia's biggest NFT marketplace. So we were trying to make NFT as a mainstream business. We were, take couple of calls in, taking cricket and celebrity is a tool to make NFT as a mainstream business. So and we also launched a cricket NFT. Around 55,000 NFTs were sold in less than 9 minutes, which is a huge volume of NFT sale, which has happened, across the globe. And recently, we recognized by Twitter in Asia's only NFT marketplace as a partner for Twitter tiles to trade the NFTs among with top other NFT marketplaces like Magic Eden and NBA Top Shot and Rario. We were working with a lot of other celebrities. Apart from Amitabh Bachchan, we don't want to focus only in India, so we target an international market. So we work with Stanley's NFTs. So Stanley is one of the creator of Marvel characters such as Iron Man, Spider-Man, and his Indian superhero character called Chakra. So we launched Chakra NFT, which is sold in less than 10 minutes, around 10,000 NFTs, and we worked with Kalpana Chawla NFT, and first Metaverse marriage, Metaverse wedding, which is created a buzz in India and Asia, and we launched that Metaverse wedding as a NFT. Yeah, so we've been predominantly well in the NFT space across the globe. So biggest player in Asia. Happy and proud to be part of the Guardian Link as making a lot of efforts to make the NFT as a mainstream business across the globe.
Mr. Sasikumar Chandran, CEO of Hamsan Global, a renowned startup mentor and an intellectual enthusiast of on-chain innovations.
So my firm is Hamsan Global IP, which belongs to an intellectual property firm. So those who are good at technology, firmly should believe on protect your brand and protect your technological stuff before someone competitors come forward and take it from your world. If you want to keep your competitors away, your first thing you should do, you have to protect your brand and protect your technology. And so far we have served almost 300 plus global clients to protect their brand globally. And one good thing is NC Global Media, we are our IP partner for them. We help them to protect their IP in India as well as in European Union. So like that, every other startup founders, particularly for Web3, you're going to be a global opportunity for sure, undoubtedly. So before we get into the business and before we get into the funding, the first foremost thing you have to do is to protect your brand name. That should be novel, as well as Web3 concern. Most of the things you can work on the NFT side as well, right? The first thing, in a more regulated way, every other country have an intellectual property firm, intellectual property ministries. So you have to protect your brand name as well as the technological stuff in every other country. It does not necessarily mean that, for example, NC Global Media, so far they didn't pin it into the Europe market, but still we help them to protect their brand in European Union at this stage itself. That means it's a superpower in terms of you give a monopoly rights to use your brand globally. So forget about the Indian market. If you have a scope in outside India, for example, the idea which you are going to work currently, that particular product has a huge market scope in US. In sense, you can focus on the US market to protect your brand there first. Okay, or if your product has a huge scope in Europe, you have to go and file and protect your brand there. Okay, I'll tell you a small case study for you. 2.5 years before, and Rohit was part of this firm called CRORE. So at that time itself, so we gave a strategy inputs that Rohit, you should not supposed to go with this name for sure. In 2019, end of 2019, they started CRORE. After 2.5 years, they reached almost 3 billion almost users base, and they have started making revenue as well. But end of the day, 6 months before, CRORE.com, they filed a case against them. And now you can check CRORE nowhere now. With almost 40 plus employees in the firm, they generated influence of millions in terms of 3 billion user base, but still, and CRORE got a file against them, but now there is no more a CRORE website. You just imagine, it's not about, wind up the brand. You just imagine the people who are working behind the screen, almost 40 plus employees, they spend in terms of millions, in terms of marketing, everything get wasted only because of what? They failed to protect their brand at the very first time itself. So as a global IP firm, as a global Hamsan Global IP, what we normally do is, we help our clients to protect their brand globally. So not only in India, globally, even more than we can serve up to 100 plus countries as well.
See, being a cyber expert and being a lawyer myself, I closely understand when your digital property gets stolen, it is a cumbersome issue. It is really cumbersome to prove in the court of law that whose IP it is. So I really applaud and appreciate Hamsan Global's work here. And I would like to thank you for taking out time from your busy schedule. Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir.
So, everyone were intrigued with the concept of NFTs with various utilities. So we thought that why don't we try some different use case which can, improvise the way we see things here. So that is why we came up with something called MetaBins. So every NFT is pegged with a trash bin in the real world. So now we have transformed something, a physical asset, which is the a trash bin, in a way cooler than like this, right? So we wanted to capture the value chain of the waste management. So it all began with the way we started it. So everyone knew that the world pandemic that we are facing right now is waste. Basically, the World Bank data states that the world generates more than 2.1 billion tons of waste every year, and we are expecting that to grow exponentially in the year of 2050. And the SDG goals, that is the Sustainable Development Goals that we have right now, they are listed out like 17, and we just have to reach the goals by 2030. So it is the right time. If we don't take any action at this point of time, we don't have any, we will not be able to guarantee anything in the future. So that is how the ideation started for our founders. We have brands, right? We drink cool drinks, we take a lot of stuff, and everything produces waste. Like whatever we consume in our day-to-day life for our food or anything, that consumes a lot of waste. Like we generate a lot of waste. But the problem is, once the main utility of that particular product is consumed, we tend to throw them away. So this is where the problem starts. We bring in some kind of responsibility to all the people across the world, and so that is why we created something, stakeholder responsibility. So every person who is generating waste, who is co-processing the waste, and who is recycling the waste, they should be in a position to held responsibility for managing or recycling the waste. We believe that the rewarding mechanism will definitely encourage the people to take action against the waste that they generate in everyday's life. So that is it. And so this, like I mentioned before, everyone in the ecosystem should be responsible. So that is what we call that as distributed stakeholders responsibility.
Back in 2006, 2007, 2008, in that times where 3G and 4G were actually evolving,
there is a big thing that was actually happening, which is the smartphone adoption. Basically, all of us could have actually started with using Nokia 3300 and 1100 models and stuff like that. But initially, after that push, we had a very strong idea about how smartphone can actually change the world, and each and every one of us had a smartphone in our pocket. So
Jack bro, I want to get your perspective about like how this smartphone adoption actually happened and how this actually happened in a short span of just 5 years.
Of course, we're not going to bore you guys. So smartphone it's a feel, I would say, because see, we all used to hear phones, right? So how many of you has watched Wolf of Wall Street? So without phones, nothing, right? So you have a favorite dialogue over there, like, and that's just a plastic. And that's where everything started in there, right? So people started using phones by keeping it in the hand. It's just listen and then talk. When you actually want to interact in terms of giving your emojis, smileys, many things, right? You started to feel. That's where the touch came into the picture.
Okay. It's basically like interacting with a bot or something like that.
Exactly, right? So the touch gives you the feel where you interact with the technology. So when you give that power to the human, people start adapting it. And that's where people have started using very in high frequency, meaning that they want this technology in their hand. Right now, if you see, most of the people uses mobile phones for everything. So everything is there digital. So that's where you feel it's general human sector where they want to interact with the technology, and the smartphone is the first gen to it.
Cool. So this is the organizing team of Amalgamation 2022. Amalgamation is going to be a Chennai community-driven event. So let's all give a huge round of applause for this Chennai Web3 ecosystem-driven hackathon Amalgamation 2022.